Today I am talking about the Moza Aircross S. This video is not sponsored, by the way. They sent me this gimbal, just said, hey, make a video for us. That's all we want. They didn't tell me what to say. They didn't tell me anything. They just said, hey, just show the features off. So I've actually always wanted to try out a gimbal for like smaller cameras or a phone. I've been having a lot of fun with this gimbal because it's really easy to use. It's really easy to set up. There's not too much that you can change. Like you can't really go into all the technicalities of like deadband. The nice thing about this is that it's marketed as like a 3-in-1. GoPros, small DSLRs, and cell phones. They advertise it as you're able to use it with a DSLR and a cell phone at the same time. And I tried this and it was a little iffy. Like I felt like I was really pushing the limits of this thing. Other things that I really enjoy about this gimbal is that it has a really nice joystick that's super easy to use. All the buttons are really close by to your thumb, so it's super easy to press them. For a small gimbal like this, having locking mechanisms is like very nice. Not all gimbals have that, but I think it's just sort of like a standard now with gimbals. So it's kind of funny, they included this cell phone mount. They also advertised that you can use like a cold shoe mount for your cell phone, but it didn't actually come with that. So yeah, I didn't really know what to do. I have another one that I could use. It felt a little bit big and bulky, so I don't know if that's an issue. Being able to have like a smooth gimbal right off the bat is really nice. Like I gave it to a couple dancers who I know and I let them film themselves, and the footage, looks pretty good. They did a really good job. I think that knowing that, they've seen me do it before, I'm sure that they've filmed their friends before, but they were able to create really smooth motion. So I think that's a good testament to how easy it is to use. We got the gimbal in vertical mode right now, and then all you gotta do is just undo this little guy, take it off, and then slide it in like that, and then boom, you're in horizontal mode. I mean, you have to readjust it. I like that a lot. I like that you can quickly switch between horizontal and vertical mode, because a lot of the time, if you're shooting videos, it's just nice to be able to be like, oh, I need some vertical content, so I'll just quickly switch between that. So I actually have been using this a lot just for like social media stuff. I just really don't like iPhone footage. I think it looks like poop compared to my camera. It works, if I just want to get some quick footage, most people don't care. So it's nice to be able to have that option as well. Why don't we just quickly talk about the app? It's pretty intuitive. You can actually do a lot to control the gimbal, but I would say that it's best used for a cell phone, because if you want to use it with your camera, they give you a control cable so that you can press record and all that. There's a lot of features that allow you to do some things with the phone, and it shows you the battery level, and then it gives you a whole bunch of options to kind of play around with. These are all usual options that you'd find on something like a DJI app. So here's the thing. To be able to control your cell phone though, you have to use the app. If I just connect to the gimbal using the app, and then I go to my camera, I can click the record button, but the record button is not doing anything. You have to go back into the app, and then you get options like motion time-lapse, track recording, variable speed time-lapse, object tracking, fixed point time-lapse, and panorama. Let's do object tracking. So I'll click on that. And now it actually launches the camera app. It gives you a greeting that says, please confirm the tracking object by touching the screen frame. Click the button again to cancel the object tracking. And I'm like, what button? I don't really understand. What I'm confused about is there's nothing labeling what to track. And if I click the screen, nothing happens. Okay, so I have to figure out what to do, because if I'm clicking around the frame, which it tells me to do, it's not actually doing anything. It's telling me to track something, but I can't actually touch anything until I press the X, and it just takes me back to the menu. So I'll go back into it, and then maybe I'll click something. There we go, I figured it out. This is some real-time action going on here. So I actually just realized that you have to click the screen and then drag to kind of like put a box around what you want to track. Okay, so let's just do this. I'll track the camera. So if I just make a screen thing around that. Okay, now it is tracking the camera. Okay, so if I move it, it's kind of working. It's actually going on the dog food bag in the background. It's actually doing a pretty decent job of tracking. I'll just show you a quick example of what it looks like if I were to track myself, but this is kind of hard to do when you want to film yourself. So you have to make sure that your camera, the screen is facing outwards so that you can actually see yourself, but it works better when you have someone already there and then you can do it yourself. Okay, so you can do like track recording, which means like, you know, you can create a track of like what you want to record and do that. Okay, but here's the thing. If I press the record button, it's not recording. Like it's not, I don't understand. I don't know if I have to turn that on. Like, let's see, let's go into the settings. So you can change the motor settings. You can put on like a sport mode, which means like it's moves quicker. Follow speed, you can change all that to different, you know, settings. They have all the classics. I'm actually really impressed by the weight capabilities of this gimbal, even though it's so small and it's plastic. Being able to hold a camera with a decently sized lens. Yeah, I really like that about this gimbal. Once you have the gimbal actually plugged into the camera, you can just press the record button and it actually starts. As you can see, I'm gonna press the record button and we're recording. Let's kind of play around with the app and see how it can control the gimbal. Mimic control. What you can do is you can control the gimbal using your phone. Wherever you move your phone, it mimics. There's like the remote control, so you can control where the thing looks. Build quality wise, I would say it's plastic for sure, but it's like solid, you know, it's made nicely. The buttons feel pretty clicky. I like that there's a leveling button right there. Everything feels like a little mini Ronin, which I like because I'm so used to my Ronin S2. It's a good gimbal for the price, and I think it's a good gimbal if you just need something that is good to take on the go. You know what I mean? Trying it with my DSLR, it actually worked pretty well. You know, I used it with my camera and I couldn't put my 24-70 on there because it was just too heavy. But using this gimbal with my 17-28 Tamron, which is like a lot lighter and it doesn't zoom. If I had a smaller camera, like say A7C, that would be perfect for this. There's this extra like plate back here. Apparently can like attach like a GoPro or like a 360 camera. If you need like a B camera, but you just want to like keep it on the gimbal, this is actually a good gimbal for that. I would say it's pretty competitive with the Ronin S3 Mini because it's around the same price. The S3 Mini is a little bit more expensive, but you do get a way higher payload and just like better build quality altogether. If you don't want to spend all that money, if you don't want to spend over $300 and you just want to save some cash and get something that's actually still pretty good, I would recommend this, you know, the Aircross S. It's good. I just want to thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. See you later.